Hey guys, it's Brett. Thanks for dropping by my channel. It is a very, very rainy, stormy Thursday here in Los Angeles. Cold, wet, the whole thing. I had one of those terrible nights of sleep where I woke up because of the rain at like 4 in the morning, and the windows were, some of them were clattering from the wind. So I really didn't fall back. So I'm taping this early, and I have a feeling by 4 o'clock I'm just going to be like a zombie. I'm sure many of you can relate to that. But anyway, hello. Wanted to talk today about February and some of the books that I am looking forward to or going to try to get to in an ever-changing TBR. So stick around. All right, so first thing I want to do is talk about the two things that I'm currently reading, that one of which was going to be on my TBR for February, so I've jump-started it, and the other one was on my January TBR, but I'm just getting to it now, which is The American Daughters by Maurice Carlos Ruffin. This comes out February 27th. Maurice Carlos Ruffin, with my real life book club, we read We Cast a Shadow, which was a really interesting book, and it was a great book for a book club discussion. This one is about a young slave girl who ends up joining a sisterhood working to undermine the Confederates. It's kind of a secret society that she gets into. So I'm about 3/4 of the way through it. I have about 70 pages left. I loved the beginning of this book and was really taken with it. It's lagging a little bit for me now, but I'm interested to see where it ends up. But that's the first thing. Second thing is backlist. John Boyne's The Absolutist. I just reviewed Water yesterday, or on my last video. I should say yesterday, my last video. His latest book. This I'd had for a while, and something I was doing over on Instagram, which was 12 books recommended by 12 friends, but I did a spin on that, which is I pulled out a ton of books and let people vote on what they thought my 12 should be, and the top 12 were the ones. So this was one of those books, which I'm glad. Anyway, it's about two young men who meet during the Great War, and seemingly I think they're going to fall in love. One of them has died in the war, and the other, the one who's living, Tristan, who's telling the story, is going to see the other man's sister to return all of her letters that she had written him while he was in the war. So I'm getting total Alice Wynne vibes from this. And I think for anybody who liked In Memoriam, this would probably be right up your alley. So now that I've told you all about it, I don't even have to review it at the end of the month. I'm also doing this on audio. It's really well done. So anyway, those are the two things. All right, so now on to the rest. First up, and I'm going to try to read this weekend, is Armistead Maupin's Mona of the Manor. This is, of course, a Tales of the City novel for all of you who are Tales of the City fans. This book, within the storyline of Tales of the City, takes place directly in the middle of the timeline. It's not a new book after the last book. So Armistead Maupin has also said this is going to be his last Tales of the City book, which focuses obviously on the character of Mona. So for those who are fans, of which I'm a big fan, I'm really, really, really excited about this. It feels like, a little bonus episode of a show that you thought was over. So there's that. And this comes out in March. All right. Feeding Ghosts by Tessa Hulse. I love graphic novels, but I don't read a lot of them. Hardly at all, frankly. But this is a memoir 3 generations of women in Tessa Hall's family, her Chinese grandmother, Sun Yi, her mother, Rose, and herself. So The artwork looks, fantastic. And I think these are really fun to read as just a different format and a way to consume content. The last thing I read in this kind of format was Ducks, which was that Canadian a year and the working on an oil rig, which was terrific. So I'm really looking forward to this. And thank you to MCD for this. And this comes out March 5th. All right. For the talented Mr. Ripley thriller lovers, there is Providence that's coming out by Craig Wills. It says the talented Mr. Ripley meets the secret history in this dark, brilliantly crafted debut novel about an introverted English professor who falls for an enigmatic and dangerous sophomore. Don't do it, Professor. Don't do it. So I have no idea, but I think this cover is really fun and it looks like, total fun thriller. This will be out in the States April 23rd. And thank you to Union Square for this copy. I finally bought some Jordans by Michael Arsenault. Michael Arsenault is an essayist who wrote the book I Can't Date Jesus, which I've had forever and never read. Harper one asked me if I would like a copy of this, and so I said I would, because I'm finally going to do the Michael Arsenault thing and read him. So I'm really excited about it. He is Black. I think he's queer. So a lot of his essays deal with both of those subjects, but I'll let you know more at the end of the month. Oh my gosh, reaching through. Okay. Really excited for this. James by Percival Everett. This, of course, is his telling of Jim, the slave in Huckleberry Finn. His story from his point of view. And I think Percival Everett is brilliant. So this is one of my most anticipated books of the year. So I was thrilled when this came in the mail the other day, and thank you to Doubleday. This will be out in March as well, but expect to hear a lot about this book from a lot of people probably around award season. All right, next, All the World Beside by Gerald Conley. Jared wrote a nonfiction book a few years ago called Boy Erased, which was his story that was then turned into a movie with Nicole Kidman and Russell Crowe, and Russell Crowe directed it. So this, I believe, this is his first fiction book, an electrifying, deeply moving historical novel about the love story between two men in a kind of utopian vision of 18th century Puritan New England. So I have no idea, but I'm very excited about it. This comes out March 26th. Looks great. And again, thank you to Riverhead Books for that. I think this is pronounced Ednan. I think. An epic by Linnea Axelsson. This is a Swedish book about two Sami families and their quest to stay together across a century of migration, violence, and colonial trauma. The thing is, it's all done in verse. This will be a new kind of reading experience for me. This is not something I would normally pick up, but I've been seeing so many people say how brilliant and beautiful it is. And I thought, I got to give it a try. So that's what that is. This is out now. And yeah. Another book that I've been really looking forward to, Real Americans by Rachel Kong. And I think this is going to be another book that you're going to see a lot of. This comes out in April. I don't have the exact date for you guys. But let me read you this from the executive editor of John Freeman of Knopf in his letter in the front of this book. How much of our lives proceed from that spark of chance is one of the key questions of life. Are we destined or made? And if the latter, who gets to do the making? Can one's genetic past be overcome? These questions form the heart of Rachel Khong's enchanting and brilliant Real Americans. With a cast of characters it contains, there's May, the matriarch, who makes a bargain leaving China during the Cultural Revolution so she continue her work as a scientist, and then makes another bargain for the survival of her family. We meet her daughter Lily on the first page at the end of Y2K, raised in America with enough privilege to resent the choices she faces as a young woman. Finally, there's Nick, Lily's son, who grows up in the Pacific Northwest without a father and wonders if this is a freedom or a loss. The only thing Nick knows is that his father is white and wants nothing to do with his son. So anyway, I didn't read her first book, Goodbye Vitamin, but I think this sounds fantastic. Again, beautiful cover. Thank you to Knopf for sending me this. And yeah. How We Named the Stars by Andre Ordorica. This is a debut novel. I'll read you the beginning of this. When Daniel de la Luna arrives as a scholarship student at an elite East Coast university, he bears the weight of his family's hopes and dreams and the burden of sharing his late uncle's name. Daniel flounders at first, but then Sam, his roommate, changes everything. As the relationship evolves from brotherly banter to something more intimate, Daniel soon finds himself in love with a man who helps see himself in a new light. But just as their relationship takes flight, Daniel is pulled away first by Sam's hesitation and then by a brutal turn of events that changes Daniel's life forever. In my last video, when I was talking about the book Hard by a Great Forest and the list that came from, the Observer list in London of the 10 great novelists to watch, debut novelists to watch this year, this was also one of those books. So really excited for this. Beautiful, beautiful cover. And finally, A Short Walk Through a Wide World by Douglas Westerbeek. Okay, the top description is what kind of drew me in. The invisible life of Addie LaRue meets Life of Pi, and this dazzlingly epic debut that charts the incredible adventurous life of one woman as she journeys the globe trying to outrun a mysterious curse that will destroy her if she stops moving. I think this sounds really interesting, and I have to read you Douglas Westerbeek's bio. Douglas Westerbeek is a librarian who lives in Ohio and works at one of the largest libraries in the U.S. He has spent the last decade on the local panel of the International Dublin Literary Award, which inspired him to write his own book. So, interesting. So I have no idea. I just think it sounds really fun. And I loved Addie LaRue, and I loved The Life of Pi. So both of those things add up to, for me, a win-win. This is out April 9th. And thank you to Avid Reader Press for this, A Short Walk Through a Wide World. All right, guys, that's it. That's my list of what I'd like to prioritize this month. We all know that's going to change, but that's what the end of the month is for, the surprises. So I hope there's some things in there that you think are interesting. Again, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. For those of who already have, I appreciate it. Love all your comments, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks.